Hello, my name is Marissa Dander. This is my Module 3 video response. The speech I chose was made by Bill Clinton, and it was the Oklahoma bombing memorial prayer service address. The main points he made during the speech was to basically speak in honor of the people who died and to their families who were grieving. And I believe he was trying to show that he could relate and he could feel their grief, almost like he was showing that he lost loved ones as well, even though he didn't. He actually read a letter from a woman that wrote to him for an unrelated incident, and she is a widow and has 3 children, and I believe he read it to show that other people in the United States could relate to what they were going through, that they weren't going through this alone, and that all of America could feel their grief. While he was making his speech, his main nonverbal cues that I noticed were he looked around the room a lot, like he was trying to make eye contact with individual people during his speech, maybe to show that he was speaking directly to them, to show that he could feel their pain, that he knew what they were going through. Sorry. The way he spoke like, as I stated before, like he lost someone as well, and I think his whole demeanor as a nonverbal cue was him just relating to them as best as he could, and to show that he felt grief for what had happened as well. While listening to the speech, my son and my fiance and my dog were all in the same room. My son and fiance were watching a movie together, and my dog was laying on the ground kind of next to me, and he has some skin issues right now, so he was itching and scratching a lot. And I feel like all of this as a whole was a challenge for me to listen to the speech. From time to time, I would have to pause it and kind of rethink about what I had just listened to, and even I would have to rewind it a couple times to kind of go back over what I had listened to so I could remember it and kind of process it and stuff, because the movie was distracting, and my dog scratching was really distracting, and just background noise in general I think is really distracting. I probably should have gone into a different room to listen to it, but I didn't. Also, sorry. Okay. While listening to the speech, some of the things that distracted me, or just activities going on while I was listening to it, my fiance Brandon would kind of ask me questions just about random stuff, and I would kind of stop and answer him, or my son would say my name and I would look up to see what he wanted, or answer his question, or look at what he was trying to show me. And those were some of the things that distracted me. And sorry, just talking and listening to other people while trying to listen to a speech was super distracting, and it I did have to pause it a couple times during those times so that I wouldn't miss everything that I was trying to listen to for the assignment. While I was doing the assignment as well, I wanted to answer the questions that we're supposed to answer during it, so I would pause the speech to process what I was listening to and go back and look over the questions, which maybe isn't distracting, but it pulled me away from the speech while I was listening to it. So I think that kind of affected me, as well as trying to actively listen. Like, just thinking about actively listening, I think made it a little bit harder for me, because I was like, okay, I need to remember to look for his nonverbal cues, and I think that took away from the words that he was saying sometimes, so I would have to rethink about what he said and also kind of look for those cues, even though it's something that we grow up doing naturally. Just thinking about having to do it, I think, made it a little bit harder for me to do, as silly as that sounds. But it definitely helped me find those things that I was looking for at the end of everything, so that was good. And then for the last question, what are tasks I feel I can do that I can do without my listening being affected? And I feel like most tasks that everyone does, even though they think that they don't affect their listening, I think they do to some level affect them. But if I had to pick a task or give an example, I suppose I would have to say that things like mindless busy work are easy to talk through while I'm doing them, like picking up my son's toys or doing laundry or washing dishes, or just things that you do on a daily basis that you're not really thinking about doing, or it doesn't take a lot of thought to do them. I feel like I can do those and listen to my son or listen to whoever's talking me at the same time as doing those tasks pretty well, for the most part. And I think that is it. So thank you. Bye.